Okie dokie, I believe we are all the way live. Hello and welcome to my graveyard. I am your host of the evening, the Cemetery Man from Salem, Mass. Always taking names and kicking candy ass, live and in living color here with you only on Grande's Graveyard. And tonight, I'm not just John Grande. I'm not just John Cusack. I'm John Malkovich, motherfucker. And tonight, we welcome the legendary, the man, the myth, the Mearnz, Mearnzys movie mansion. Welcome the King, Mearnzy. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, buddy? Thanks so much for having me on. It feels like yesterday we were up to shenanigans in Will's basement there in New Jersey.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how fun that weekend was at Monster Mania back in March, and we hung out and we went thrifting, we went thrift shopping in the New Jersey outlets and shit like that. Bought some fun stuff. I know you got the collector on Blu-ray from some poor soul in the fucking New Jersey parking lots over there, and I was like,
I did, buddy.
You found the deal, my friend. You found the deal.
It was either going to be me to buy it or you because it was $1 Blu-ray. So I beat you to it, buddy.
Yeah, no, you really did. I was like, son of a bitch, I would have did this completely. But we had such a fun weekend. We watched all sorts of great movies. We watched Top Secret. Me and Mearnz, we watched Top Secret.
Poor Grande, I held a gun to his head and forced him to watch Top Secret.
That was Mearnzys. That was Mearnzys' movie banshee that we watched Top Secret with. And we also, we met a bunch of, cool people at the convention and things like that. We hung out with Will and Jeff and we shot the breeze. It was a fun time. And, it's funny. The last time I had you on one-on-one, we talked all things David Lynch. And of course, You and Mateo, you guys always hit me up about different directors. And you're like, well, let's do a show on this person. Let's do a show that person. We've done De Palma and Tarantino with Mateo. And of course, you and I have done Lynch. And you reached out and said, Grande, I want to do another weird one that nobody talks about, Spike Jonze. And I appreciate you picking this because tonight on Grande's Graveyard, we'll talk about all of Spike Jonze feature films on Grande's Graveyard. I appreciate the pick, Mearnz. It's a obscure one, but I like it.
Absolutely, man. And I just think he's such a slept-on director. Like, he's put out 4 really good movies, and his career is kind of colorful. It's very vast and all over the place, from making music videos and being a skater and writing for skateboard magazines. And I think it's going to be a good spotlight. So I'm excited to do it, man. And thanks for having me on.
Yeah, dude, you're more than welcome anytime. And we specifically sort of planned it for this week only because this is Mearnzys' last week as an unmarried man. Yes, ladies and gents, next week, and I want you in the comments to congratulate this guy and his blushing bride-to-be, Christy. He's getting married. Mearnz is tying the knot. He's off the market. So for all you Grande's Graveyard female goers, I know all 4 of you are devastated, but I am so, so happy for Paul Mearnz because you're a great friend. I consider you a brother, and I'm very, very happy for you. So everybody, congratulations to Mearnz and Christy on the wedding next week. I'm so, so happy for you guys.
There's going to be a lot of broken hearts next weekend. Like, ladies, you had your chance. I mean, I'm 35, but the gig is up. That's it. I'm off the market. So, that's it.
The vows are written, and he is going to walk that aisle. Paul Mearnz.
I am. And then it's all over after that, right?
No, that's the beginning, Mearnz. You're going to have tons of great experiences. Maybe you'll just go and walk the like mountains during the winter seasons, and maybe. I don't know, go to carnivals and things like that. I think the sky's the limit for you and Christy. I don't know if Christy's here, but shout out and congratulations to Christy as well.
No, she's watching Sex in the City or whatever in the other room there, but. Yeah, you never know. Maybe I'll fall in love with my intuitive operation system. Maybe her.
You can always, if it doesn't work out, you can just get an operating system voiced by Scarlett Johansson. Well, what could go
exactly right?
We got Miss C in the here. Ciao, Grande and Mearnzy. Hello, Graveyardian friends. Welcome, Miss C. We got Haddonfield mascot John is in the house. What's up, chat? Grande and Mearnzy. Hope everyone is doing well. Spike Jonze is great. I'm wholeheartedly with you. Great. It's funny, like we were talking before, at how many great movies that of course Spike Jonze has made. Yet he's a guy that's not above being one of the Jackass guys, or being in a Martin Scorsese flick where he's trying to get Leo to, I'll give you a blowjob if you sell this many shares. And I hope it happens.
I know. I love that scene. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got such a great range because he can make these great, serious, depressing art films, and then at the same time he has a good sense of humor about it, and it's, cannot take himself seriously sometimes, which is a good balance. It's good that he's not like an overly pretentious and monotonous, boring guy. AJ's here. I'm only familiar with one of his movies, What the Fuck. Well, there's only 4 movies, so you got 25% there, AJ. Don't knock until you try it. We got Will in the house. Yo, Will is in the heezy. Dr. Hogg himself. I remember Spike dressing up as the old lady in one of the jackets. That's right. Was that part 3, Mearnz?
It's part 3, and he's got all the prosthetics on and looks like an old lady, and he's like, "My name's Gloria, and I'm a huge slut." And he gets the dress caught in the car, and the dress rips off, and he's like all naked. It's so funny, man.
Dude, he's like, and he's a really talented writer too, because I know the first couple movies that we're going to talk about tonight were written by Charles Kaufman, but when you get to movies like this and Where the Wild Things Are, he has a great writing talent as well. Like, he can act, he can write, he can direct. He's just like a 5-tool guy. It feels like there's nothing he can't do. Chow Grande and Mearnzy. Mateo is here. Mearnzy CA, represent Canada, eh? My phone is oozing quality with this stream. Hi to the whole graveyard. Welcome, Mateo. Hope all is well with you. Only movie I know for sure is Her, and I barely remember that. All right, so no worries. You've seen one too. My boys, my darlings, all S's. Look at that. Mearnzy looking so studious. Yeah, no, Mearnz, explain the look here tonight, because then I got to explain the stupid wig.
Yeah, so I was just like, Grande, what can we do? Like, so I guess I'm attempting to look like Joaquin Phoenix from Her. I mean, I need a red polo, but I'll settle for salmon pink. And then I was debating doing the mustache, but with the wedding next Saturday, I don't think that'd fly with the bride. So yeah, I'm channeling my Her look. And then we got Grande, who's a struggling ventriloquist. He's looking like John Cusack there from Being John Malkovich, but I guess it's Being John Grande, and he's a blonde. so there we go.
Grande equals blonde. Blondes have more fun only on the graveyard. Yeah, Chow Blonde. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have because I guess John Cusack's hair in the movie is dark, so it's like a brown or black or something. And I only had a blonde wig. I'm like, I could put this in a ponytail if you want. Mearnz was like, that's perfect, eh? Like,
go for it, dude. It looks awesome.
I couldn't believe I still had it, to be honest with you, but I was like, you know what? Why not? The Dungeon, yes. Let's see. John Grande, the new Debbie Harry. Oh, shit. Watch out, Debbie. Sue found out. Had a heart of glass. Come on, Debbie. I'll fucking take Debbie on right now. Long live Devontae. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's the last time I had Will on. He almost had an aneurysm because there was this guy, Devontae, in the comments that was like criticizing everything Will said, and Will's like veins are popping out of his head. It was pretty funny. Ryan Hanley's in the house. My favorite Canadian is getting hitched. Congratulations. Yes, congratulations.
Thanks, buddy. Ryan's the man. Shout out Ryan Hanley. I love that guy, man.
Ryan's good people, man. Ryan's very good people. We're always shooting the breeze on horror and wrestling and all that good stuff. The minute I turn my back, some chick swoops in and steals my man.
You had your chance, AJ.
He had his chance. At Motor City, and he didn't pull the trigger. I know this guy, AJ. He's probably distracted. I don't know. Darn it so seriously. Congrats on tying the knot, Mearnzy. Absolutely. Congrats, Mearnz. As a married man, I really give my most sincere ... condolences. Congratulations, Mearnzy and Mrs. Mearnzy.
It's all over.
It's all over. Congrats. Yo, buddy, still up to 2014 of the memoirs. Start my training Monday. Superman tomorrow. Went to Dave & Buster's. Well, you had a hell of a day. Hell yeah, man. Enjoy that stuff, Anthony. But everybody, cheers to a safe, happy, healthy weekend. I've got the greatest drink ever. I don't know. Are you drinking anything tonight, Mearnz?
I have a little blackberry hibiscus carb water. So I'll cheers you, my friend, and cheers to the graveyard. Cheers, guys. This is great.
Cheers to Mearnzy getting married, and cheers to Spike freaking Jonze tonight, only on Grande's Graveyard. And of course, I know you had some notes written up about his beginnings, his humble beginnings in music video. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, and then we'll go into the first film? Is that okay?
Sounds kick-ass, man. We can give a little synopsis to people who aren't familiar with the director, Spike Jonze. New York City boy, born and raised in New York City. He started off in photography. And this is the cool thing. Like, he started photographing BMXers and skateboarders like Ronnie Mullen and like Tony Hawk and all that. And then he got hired from Trans World Skateboarding magazine. Do you remember that magazine like at all? I guess
that would be before my time. Probably.
Yeah. I remember buying that and thinking it was so cool, man. Because I was a big skater too. Like, I grew up in a small little town of Bolton, and we all skated hard, man, throughout high school and all that. Like, we were meeting each other on skateboards and stuff. So I guess that's kind of what drew me to the guy at first. Just what a cool guy. He skates and he makes movies, right? Also, there's also skateboard brands, obviously, World Industries, stuff like that. But I didn't know this, but he's the co-founder of Girl Skateboards. I don't know if you guys,
I didn't know that.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Girl Skateboards, but they have that little logo. Like, when you go to the bathroom, you know, there's the male logo and there's the girl logo. Like, that's the logo for Girl Skateboards. So pretty cool. And then he started making music videos. And if you've seen his movies, he has a very unique style. Like, he definitely has his own style of filmmaking. And you can tell right from his music videos from the start. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the band Fatboy Slim. But did you watch that music video I sent you?
I did. I watched that. I watched the Youth Sonic one, and of course he did some with Weezer. He directed the Buddy Holly music video, which is one of my favorites ever. I love that.
And Island in the Sun,
right?
A couple of those. Daft Punk, Arcade Fire, who we'll get into that later, but they did the whole score, for her. That's all Arcade Fire,
and it's a beautiful score.
Kanye West, he shot a couple videos for him too. So really, really cool career, right from the get-go.
It's extremely diverse. It seems like you wouldn't think, okay, Weezer and Kanye West, how the hell would that work? But it works. He really, I think he's almost a guy. And if you look at the movies that we're going to be discussing here tonight, like, each movie is so different from the last. They're all creative in their own way, but they're also intrinsically different. And you look at the guy that made Being John Malkovich and you go, that guy would turn around and make Where the Wild Things Are a decade later. How would that compute? But it does. And it computes so naturally and organically that it's really kind of amazing how talented this guy was. John says Video Days and Yeah Right, so good. Absolutely. AJ, this is because of Noah Syndergaard, but it is what it is. It's amazing at how you are talking about a music video director. Usually you talk about a movie director. Well, we are talking about a movie director, Slasher Fred. Welcome. But his humble beginnings were in music videos, and I guess that led into his feature film debut, of course, in 1999. I think he started directing music videos in like 89. And about a decade later, he starts to direct his first feature film, of course, from the year 1999. I'm talking about Being John Malkovich. Yes, brief plot synopsis, Mearnz. A puppeteer discovers a portal that leads literally into the head of movie star John Malkovich. Yes. I mean, I love this freaking movie, and I'm excited to talk about this because I hadn't seen this in quite some time until we did show prep for this. And man, what a creative, fantastic movie, and what a really impressive debut film. Do you remember the first time you saw this? Was it around the time it came out? Like, walk me through your first initial viewing.
Right off the get-go, that poster, right?
Sure.
1999, I was 10 years old, right? I wasn't watching shit like this. I was watching like Star Wars and Indiana Jones and stuff like that. But dude, I remember seeing this poster and I thought it was a space movie. Like,
that makes sense.
Literally, like, just the movie poster, I thought it was like this crew is in space or some shit. I didn't know what the movie was about at all, right? So dude, right off the get-go, like, I didn't grow up watching this movie. I don't think I watched it till maybe I was in my 20s. But it's a fucking weird movie, man. And it's, I would say, ahead of its time. You know, when you got studios like A24 and like Neon now, where like the vibe is to put out a weird movie, right? But this was like ahead of its time. It was the first movie like a mainstream audience had seen that was kind of breaking the ground here, you know? Like in 1999, I looked up a couple movies that were also popular. You had Saving Private Ryan, Life is Beautiful, Shakespeare in Love with Gwyneth Paltrow. And then here comes fucking being John Malkovich, like just so out of the norm for your regular movie going audience, right?
Completely. And I think that you hit the nail right on the head that this was really A24 or Neon before they were even a thing. And I love, you're right, the movies that were coming around the pike at this time, nothing resembled what this was. This was a different type of art. It was an abstract painting that you really kind of had to look at in so many different ways to get the true beauty out of it. And I mean, I think a lot of that goes to the cast. I love this cast. Of course, John Cusack as our lead, as this guy is kind of a loser. He's this marionette guy, doesn't have a real job. He's married to Cameron Diaz in the movie, and they really glammed her down, which was the smartest thing you could do, because obviously in the 1990s, I don't know if there was a hotter woman on planet Earth than Cameron Diaz in The Mask or The Last Supper or movies like that. I mean, she's just a gorgeous woman. They really demystify her. They make her as like normal or common as the common one. And then I think the true real like show stealer in this movie is Catherine Kinnear, as this lady that he becomes infatuated with at work. But I mean, other than the cast too, just the whole idea of he starts to work in this place, but it's on the 7.5 floor. It's not just your normal boring office. It has to be something extravagant. And of course, you go from this office where you have to like hunch over to walk through the hallways and things like that. Just something like that. It's got a good sense of humor. It's unlike anything you've ever seen before. The whole idea of we got to stop and use this crowbar to get to this.
It's like whimsical, right? Like he gets on that elevator and Octavia Spencer's on that elevator. Crazy cameo. Like she's been around forever.
And she'd go on to win an Oscar, crazy enough.
Yeah, like you're saying, dude, I love right where it's going to floor 8, and she just hits the button and cracks a crowbar in, and you have to go into the 7.5 floor where everything is like ceilings like this. Like this is how you walk around, right?
Yeah,
it's so out there.
And it's, I think, so like it's fun, creative, and it's not just weird to be weird. It's weird to make you chuckle. It's like, oh my God, we've all worked in these monotonous offices, but have we ever worked in an office that was monotonous and also like you had to hunch over to walk from room to room? I thought that was so smart. And of course, they are sort of hinting that John Cusack is really liking Catherine Kinnear a little too much for comfort. She's not interested. She's this very like, I'm so prim and proper and you're not worth my time type of woman, until one day he finds this sort of passageway that leads into the mind of none other than John Malkovich. And of course, you can be in his peripheral vision. I love the way they shoot this. They do this oval kind of view on the screen. So it's like you're seeing through the eyes, right? Because it's, if you did this, you're seeing through the eyes of John Malkovich. And man, what a creative idea. And you just get dumped off after about 15 minutes onto the Jersey Turnpike and you just got to catch a ride. And I love that, man. Didn't you? And also I would have to ask you, like, what do you think of John Malkovich as an actor? Were you aware of his career prior to this, like lead into this, or was this the movie you discovered him in?
No. I remember he was in The Man in the Iron Mask. Like I watched that a lot when I was a kid with Leonardo DiCaprio. Right. So I'd seen him in some things. Am I a John Malkovich guy? Not really. He's kind of, from someone who loves Nicolas Cage, listen to the word I'm about to say, but he's kind of an over actor.
I love it. Wait, can you do your best John? Can you do a John Malkovich impression? I got to hear this.
Where were the drugs going? Fuck face. Like that's like a John Malkovich impersonation.
Have you ever seen him in Rounders? Because that was the movie I first saw him in, which came out like the year before this. It was the role he did before this.
I've seen Rounders, but I can't recall.
So he's like this over-the-top Russian poker player where he goes, okay, Mr. Son of Beach, let's play some cards. And when I saw him, I was like, I love John Malkovich. These two movies are like totally responsible for me really loving him. But I'm sorry, back to your thoughts on the whole like peripheral vision and the idea of this. What did you think? Because I just thought it was great.
It's so cool. Like you never see a lot of things like it's from our perspective, as a living human being, like you see in the first person, I'll never see what I look like, but you see what I look like and you'll never see, so jumping into someone's shoes and you're, in their head and in their life, like it was kind of groundbreaking, like for the time. Right.
Yeah, no, totally. And like, I had never seen a movie. I will dare to say I've still never seen another movie quite like this. And it wasn't like, okay, a directorial debut. Generally, you see a lot of influence from other directors of this time. Man, I didn't see any. It's just completely his own feel and vibe. And of course, this was written by Charlie Kaufman, who is one of my all-time favorite writers. Of course, he wrote the film we'll talk about next, adaptation. Of course, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is my personal favorite from him.
Brilliant, man. Did you
Oscar,
ever watch his New York movie? It's called like something New York.
no, I haven't. Honestly, who is it? Is anyone famous in it, or?
It's a Charlie Kaufman film, but no, I'd never seen that one either. But he's fantastic, dude. He's so out there.
He really is. He's so talented, and like to me, this whole idea was just so interesting. Of like, what would you do if you found the portal in someone's head? And of course, Catherine Kinnear, all of a sudden, okay, now I'm interested in John Cusack because we can make money off of this. And she gets, the evil eyes. And this movie honestly just keeps. I always thought one upping itself in the crazy department. It starts off okay. This is weird, and it just continuously keeps growing to weirder and weirder, weirder till it snowballs out of control by the ending, but I love it.
They find this portal, like if for people in the chat that haven't seen it, like they find this portal behind this cabinet that goes into John Malkovich's head. So they start charging people like $200 a pop. So pay me $200, and for 15 minutes you can go into the head of John Malkovich. And then people start getting addicted to it, and John Cusack brings his wife into it. Cameron Diaz starts getting obsessed with going into John Malkovich. And it's so cool because it's like art imitating life, right? And John Cusack is a puppeteer. He loves to the idea of becoming someone else for a while and seeing what they see and feeling what they feel. And here he's now inside of a man, a human being, and figures out a way to control him, to puppeteer John Malkovich. And by the end of the film, it's pretty crazy. Like, he's made a whole career for himself, and he's made John Malkovich not become an actor in Hollywood, but a puppeteer. And it's just a crazy movie. And in the end, spoiler alert, it came out in 1999, as Will likes to say. If you haven't seen it by now, but it's just John Cusack's left with nothing. Like, his wife leaves him for another woman, and he's just left alone. He had a chance to do something, and he wasted it. So it's kind of got a dark ending, but what an adventure getting there.
Yeah, it is. It's quite the adventure getting there, and there's a lot of it's basically a really fucked up love triangle where John Malkovich is the fourth wheel, kind of used as, like you said, a puppet / marionette in the whole thing, right? Because once John Cusack's interested in Catherine Kinnear, all of a sudden Cameron Diaz is interested in Catherine Kinnear, to the point where she one night is taking over John Malkovich, and then Catherine Kinnear in real life is having sex with John Malkovich, and it's almost like she's using John Malkovich's body to have sex with Catherine Kinnear, and it's just like, what the fuck? And then they're like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. We got to do this again. I don't think that's that far-fetched. Obviously, the idea of what's happening is, but the whole psychology of what people get off on that, I think so. I totally think so. I think there's some crazy motherfuckers out there. And I think it was all really well done from a directorial standpoint and a writing standpoint too. John Cusack, he's doing the immoral thing of cheating on his wife, or wanting to cheat on his wife, Catherine Kinnear. And as this thing plays out, it all kind of the egg kind of all ends up in his face, right? His wife leaves him for the woman that he wanted to be with. And of course, John Malkovich is, I guess moving on too. Everyone is sort of moved on by the end of this thing. And I don't know. I agree with you. It is a sort of dark ending, especially with the daughter that they have. Like,
yeah, kind of weird, eh?
Yeah, and the old people, the fucking old people, that totally didn't need to be in there to me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, because all the old people have found out a way to live forever. So they want to go into John Malkovich's head, and eventually they're in the daughter's head. Like, that's the way the movie ends.
Yeah. Fucking
But I love the part where John Malkovich figures out what's going on. And he goes to Lester Corp, and he's like, this is fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, you got all these people, like, going inside of my head. He's like, this is my fucking head. Like, and then he goes into his head. Like, as fucked up as that sounds, John Malkovich goes into his own head, and there's this restaurant scene, and every single person in the restaurant is John Malkovich. You know, you see a woman, but her face is John Malkovich. You see a baby, and the baby's John Malkovich. And the only word that they can say is Malkovich. So everyone's just like, Malkovich? Malkovich.
I'll have the Malkovich.
Malkovich. And he's trying to, like, speak, and he's just like, Malkovich! Like, it's a weird-ass movie before weird-ass movies became a trend. So that's why I think it set the bar, you know?
It really did, and it's such a weird movie. Now, I found this interesting when I was watching some interviews for this. It was such a weird movie that when they presented this to Cannes Film Festival, which is literally the artsy, independent, be as avant-garde as you want to be festival, they declined it because this was originally about 20 to 30 minutes longer, and Spike Jonze refused to cut it. He was like, I'm not cutting this, you know, and John Malkovich, funny enough, was the one that went to him and said, listen, I think you're too close to this thing. You've got to cut it. It's too long. And I even think as it is, it's about 2 hours. It still feels a little long as it is. And you were saying to me, imagine another 20, 30 minutes added on to what we already think is a little bit too stretched of an ending. Cannes Film Festival rejected this in 1999, which is shocking to me because, like I was telling you, man, if this got presented at Cannes Film Festival now, there'd be a 37-minute standing ovation, somebody get on their knees and blow John Malkovich. I mean, it would be just like, you know, all the glad-handing people in Hollywood, what they do now, they just blow smoke and jerk each other off. That's what they do. It's crazy to me that you know, this was rejected by Cannes Film Festival, but I think John Malkovich is so cool for doing this. Apparently, he read the script on a plane and was like, I've got to be a part of this. Like, this is so freaking cool. He even suggested, apparently, that they change it. He didn't want to be the guy. He was like, dude, it shouldn't be me. It should be somebody more well-known. And he suggested all these things, but they were like, no, that's the point. Like, a lot of the humor in it is, oh, you're that guy that plays the jewel thief, right? And he's like, I've never played a jewel thief. It's like, he's an actor that you know, but you don't really know. So that's why it really worked, I think, for him. Everyone acting-wise does great. I think the script is really smart. I don't know. I think it does go a little bit too long, like we were saying, but what would you rate it out of 10 overall?
That's my only quarrel with it, is it feels there's like 20 minutes that could get chopped off. Right. And they already chopped off, you said, like 20 minutes or 40 minutes or something. But it really is because of John Malkovich that this movie got made. Spike Jonze has said that. He's like, he carried the torch like through the whole movie. He could have said no, and you know, we'd be left with nothing. But if I were to rate it, I would give it 4 orangutans out of 5.
Okay, we're going out of 5. I love it. 4 orangutans. You know what? I'm going to meet you there. I'll go with 4 John Malkoviches out of 5.
I don't think it, like, the next one we're talking about, I think is a perfect film. But I think this is a 4 out of 5 for sure. It's fantastic. I have the Criterion release. I don't own a lot of Criterions, but I own some good ones, and I love this movie. I mean, it comes with some really great supplements and great interviews on here. It's really cool. And there you go, guys. You see John Malkovich crawling down the hole into his head.
So cool. Not entering outer space like this. That's so fun. I can never unsee
Dude, I thought it was a space movie for sure.
It looks like, the Apollo 14. Like,
what would you give it? What's your rating, buddy?
I would go the same. I would say about a 4 out of, if we're going out of 5, a 4 out of 5, going out of 10, like an 8 out of 10. I think it's a very impressive feature film debut. All the actors do a really good job. It's creative. I like creative movies, and I like that it's not just weird for weird's sake, too. It's over the top, but I think in a fun, entertaining way. And it's very funny. Like, I think it's a very, from start to finish, the dark humor in it, it works. All of it really, really lands. It's a very smart film. I like it a lot.
I like when he talks to the boss, like he's getting the job interview, Lester, and he's like, how old are you? And the guy's like, 105. Carrot juice. I drink carrot juice every day. Makes my piss stink. Like, it's really quirky dialogue like that, right?
Yeah, it's It's out there. It's a weird, it's fucking, but really good. Charlie Kaufman just nails this. Joe Mama types in, yo, what's up, Joe Mama? Matt Landrum is in the house. Welcome, Matt Landrum. Malkovich. So yeah, say it enough times, it tongue twists. For me, being John Malkovich is pure avant-garde. Okay, so I'm guessing not a fan of it, or maybe in a good way avant-garde. I don't know. I've heard avant-garde could be good or really bad. Being John Malkovich is considered to be the original Get Out because it has Catherine Keener, and there is a theory that Rose is the grown-up version of Catherine's character's daughter. Have you ever heard that? That's crazy.
I haven't, but that's an interesting theory. Sure.
The sequel, the long-awaited sequel, Get Out by Jordan Peele. Well,
Yeah.
Paid that man his money. He beat me straight up. Welcome, Pat. Welcome. Yes, as John Malkovich in Rounders. I quote John Malkovich in Rounders all the time. It's so fucking fun. The end of the movie is pretty dark because you have John Cusack's character who is now trapped inside the mind of his ex-wife/ex-girlfriend's daughter. Yeah, you have to live and see that every day and be tortured by it. Like, that is, I don't know if you can get an ending more dark than that. It's really cleverly done, though. Dan is in the house, popping in to say, what's up, my boys? Welcome, Dan. Hope all is well with you. Great film, quirky and eccentric, speaks on a deeper level about longing to be someone else, using Malkovich as a vessel. Genius. It really is. I completely agree with that sentiment. It's
for sure.
Oh man, it's so ahead of its time. It's like no other movie is like this. I may be wrong, but I also see a metaphor on everyone having their 15 minutes of fame, especially when they charge for being. What do you think of that? That's an interesting theory.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of themes there, you know. We all, everyone does it. We all think of, being someone else or, inhabiting someone else or something. It's a total movie that's like, reflects on the human condition, like all his films.
Yeah, I will say that's maybe the one constant theme you'll see in all of his movies, exception of maybe Where the Wild Things Are, is the whole idea of not being happy with where you are. And I guess, like the whole, Where Wild Things Are does have a lot of loneliness, and we'll get there. But I mean, it's definitely a theme here too. John Cusack, yeah, he's this loser. He has this wife that is head over heels in love with him, but he's still doing this and wanting to be with Catherine Keener. It's like, how could you, man? What the fuck? You're this bum and she's sticking by you. And yeah, you know what? He kind of deserves what he gets in the end. Some of the classic music videos were homage to the old classic movies like Michael Jackson's Bad. Okay. This movie could have been directed by Terry Gilliam. I say this as a huge compliment. So you're avant-garde in a good way. I'm with that. That's cool. Because I agree. It definitely has some. Maybe it does have some Terry Gilliam.
It does. Yeah. Now that you say that, Mateo, for sure, I could see that.
Absolutely. So we both recommend Being John Malkovich. I really enjoy that movie. If you want, you could show up the next movie we're going to be talking about here, and I'll do the brief plot synopsis, if you will. Of course, he would continue to direct, but it wasn't until the year of 2002 where he'd direct his next feature film, a movie that actually was nominated for quite a few Academy Awards and did win one for an acting performance in it. This is from the year 2002. This is Nicolas Cage, Meryl Streep, and Chris Cooper in a little movie called Adaptation. Yes, Adaptation.
Yeah.
Brief plot synopsis for Adaptation. A lovelorn screenwriter becomes desperate as he tries and fails to adapt The Orchard Thief by Susan Orlean for the screen. Yes, Adaptation. Wow, this is another one that just is really out there, but so innovative in a lot of what it does and says. What are your thoughts? I know this is your favorite, I believe, of the bunch, so please gush away.
It is. Man, there's a lot to say here. It's a movie about flowers, right? But it's so much deeper than that. It's such a crazy movie, and the first one that I've ever seen kind of be like this. It's so self-aware of itself, and I know you think it's a bit pretentious and kind of up to ass a bit. But I think that's the point. So basically, for people that haven't seen it, Nicolas Cage is Charlie Kaufman. Okay, he portrays screenwriter Charlie Kaufman, and in this movie, he's adapting a book into a movie. The book is called The Orchid Thief, and it's written by Meryl Streep. She plays Susan or whatever. So the whole movie, he's kind of losing his mind over like, how do I adapt this book into into a movie, into my
a
screenplay.
Yeah.
You know, and like I don't want I love this. He's like, I don't want to make a movie about drug running or people falling in love or guns and shootouts, people learning profound life lessons like every other movie. I just want to write a book, or I want to write a screenplay about flowers, and that's it. And that's kind of the humor of it all, because what I just said, the movie has all of it. It's got drug running. It's got shootouts. It's got people falling in love. It's got people learning profound life lessons. And it's such a fucking smart movie, because about 45 minutes in, he's working on this screenplay. You realize that what you're watching, like what you've seen for the last 45 minutes, is the movie. Like it's life imitating art. It's art imitating art. Like we're watching the movie that he's writing the whole time. Right up until the credits at the end. And I thought the movie's bloody brilliant. I've never seen a movie like that in my life that actually, is this guy, like we're watching the film unravel as he's writing it. It's like that you guys remember Spaceballs? Where he's like, get me Spaceballs the movie. Like, what am I looking at? We're looking at now. Whatever's happening now is happening now. What happened to then? We passed then. When? Just now. It's like that, right? So I have so much to say about this movie. I mean, I'd love to know your thoughts and stuff, but for those of you that haven't seen it, Nicolas Cage plays two people in the movie. He plays Charlie Kaufman, and he plays his twin brother, Donald Kaufman, who in real life doesn't exist. But during the Oscars that year, I don't know if you knew this, Grande, but Charlie Kaufman was up for Best Screenplay, and they kind of advertised it as Charlie Kaufman and Donald Kaufman, and they even had a seat for Donald Kaufman that no one sat in during the Oscars, because he doesn't exist. But I thought that was so funny how
that's amazing.
They rigged that, right? And I mean, Chris Cooper, you guys all know Chris Cooper from American Beauty, and so many other great
movies.
The
Muppets.
And the Muppets, yeah. Chris Cooper's great in this movie, man. He plays John LaRoche, who is this guy that's kind of really into finding flowers, and he's like a horticulturist. But he's great, dude. He has this amazing monologue in the movie. And just while I have it in my head there, I want to read it to you because I think it's so good. I just have to find my phone.
You're good, Mearnz.
Yeah. So this is one of the monologues in adaptation, but I just thought this was so beautiful. So the point is, what's so wonderful is that every one of these flowers has a specific relationship with the insect that pollinates it. There's a certain orchid that looks exactly like a certain insect, so the insect is drawn to this flower. It's double. It's soulmate. It wants nothing more than to make love to it. And after the insect flies off, it spots another soulmate flower and makes love to it, thus pollinating it. And neither the flower nor the insect will ever understand the significance of their lovemaking. I mean, how could they know that because of their little dance, the world lives? But it does, by simply doing what they're designed to do. Something large and magnificent happens. In this sense, they show us how to live, how the only barometer you have is your heart, and how when you spot your flower, you can't let anything get in your way. And dude, whenever I hear that monologue in the movie and the way Chris Cooper says it, like it gives me chills, man. It's so well written.
It really is. Yeah, I think he is, again, the standout here. And again, I really think the entire cast is just incredible here. Chris Cooper honestly did deserve the Oscar. He did win for Best Supporting, I believe, that year, and he was totally earning of it. He did a great job in this. This guy was the tragic past, right? He was pulling out of his driveway with his wife and I believe her parents, and they just get hit, and of course the parents die, and she divorces him as soon as she wakes up from the coma. And we watch as this guy, he's just kind of dealing with it, and he is making it like, no skin off my apple, like whatever. I'm here to study plants and things like that. And Meryl Streep is sort of so infatuated with his ability to be passionate about this topic. And of course, she sees that in him, and I think that's what kind of draws her as like an insect to its flower or a soul to its soulmate. I love how that chemistry and that relationship is built, and the two of them are really good together. Like I love, and I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't like Meryl Streep at all as a human being. I just don't like
You're
her
not
in
a
real
fan,
life.
Yeah.
She's so good in this movie. Like there's
I
no.
think this is one of her best roles, to be honest. Like I love the monologues she has in her head where she's lying in bed at night and her husband's sleeping and she's just like, I want to know what it's like to care about something. Like I want to know what it's like to feel passion. And she's so good in it, and she's so infatuated with Chris Cooper's character. And then when she's in front of her friends and colleagues, she like makes fun of him, right? And then
Yeah.
he'll go to the bathroom and she's looking in the mirror and she's just, and it's so typical. Like we do that all the time too. We could have a really amazing interaction with someone and then later on we're talking shit about it. But like we know deep down that there was something beautiful there, right?
Oh, totally. And that's, I guess, human nature, and I think it's so well done here. Is like you see she's this bored soul just wanting to break out. There's the great scene where they're having dinner with all the pompous people and friends and stuff like that. And she goes in the bathroom, like you're saying, and she's like, I feel dirty. I just did that. Like I feel gross. And you see she's wanting to be freed, and she feels the only way she could do that is if she actually does tie the knot with Chris Cooper. And I don't know, I really like how all of that stuff is done and told. I think it's really good. And then like on the other hand, you have Nick Cage, who again, I know this is sacrilegious and I feel so bad. I'm not a huge Nick Cage fan. However, this is one of his best roles. He's really good in this movie. And I do understand from what I read that Spike Jonze insisted to Nick Cage that he do everything he says. He says, listen, I know, you're a legendary actor, character actor. I know there's probably a way you're going to want to tackle this, but I'm going to ask you out of respect to do everything I say as I say it. And that all you take that however way you want, with a grain of salt or, without. I think that was the right move to let Spike Jonze make that call, because Nick Cage took direction from the director really well. Because, of course, the one brother is the imaginative brother who's dating Maggie Gyllenhaal, who's writing these horrible, cliched scripts that are getting approved in Hollywood, and he's just flying colors everywhere. He has it all.
So yeah.
And then Charlie is this really, really awkward person who has this interaction with a woman at the diner, and it's Judy Greer. Judy Greer is the waitress. I was like, holy shit, Judy Greer, what the fuck? They're talking and they're talking about pies and things like that, and he just has this awkward, like, asks her out really weird, like an impulse thing. And she's like, this fucking guy's weird, like, let's go.
Yeah.
I forget the actress's name, the one that he's speaking with in the hallway. They're sitting down talking with one another, and she's almost the one that's got away. And the pain that you are made to feel in that scene, to me, is just so well delivered here. I love how Spike Jonze directs that and how Charlie Kaufman writes it, because you see the instant regret that they had something and he didn't pull the trigger on it, and it's the ultimate regret that he's living with throughout the rest of this movie as we watch him. Obviously, that does play into the ending, but I think Nick Cage does great here. Like, I was very, very impressed with Nick Cage, I have to say. And I know, like, again, this is coming from not someone I like Meryl Streep. I don't like Nick Cage, really, but man, they both do a great job here. So I'm telling you, trust me, they're great.
Dude, I agree. I think it's his best role besides Leaving Las Vegas. It's real, an Oscar-worthy performance. And he doesn't have his usual Cage, freak out moments at all in the movie. Right. It's just very, when he is Charlie Kaufman, he's so in his head and he's so insecure and having these crazy voiceover arguments with himself. Like that scene you were saying, he's like, I should have kissed her. I'm going to go kiss her right now. No, I'm going to go knock on the door right now. I'm going to be romantic. This could be a story we could tell our kids. And then he just ends up driving away, She likes him. You can tell she wants him to kiss her, but he's just so insecure and so inside of his head that he just never makes a move, right?
Exactly. And meanwhile, his brother, who, whether it be imaginative or not, he's the opposite. He's carefree, has everything in the world that he goes out and gets. He has this utmost confidence in and of himself. And that's, I think, what he wants. It's like the piece of him that he can't control himself to be. He is talented. He does have things to bring to the table, but he doesn't believe in himself, and thus cowers out at these moments and second guesses, and he's super super awkward. So I don't know. I loved the dual role. He played it so good. I thought the brother, it was actually funny. Like some of this, like I got a good laugh out of this stuff with the brother. Like, hey, I wrote this terrible cliche script. They loved it. They bought the first cat. Like, I thought that was fucking funny.
His script is like fucking the detective, the serial killer, and the cop are all the same person. It's called The Three, and at the end, he's a schizophrenic. Like, that's the big twist. And he's like, do you know what Ouroboros is? He's like, it's a snake eating its own head. He's like, you're Ouroboros. It's so good.
I think also, like, that's sort of a jab at how, yes, like, they totally would take the most cliche thing to try to sell it because that's all they know. I would say this, like, of these four, this is probably my weakest. It's still a really good movie. I'm not trying to say it's bad. I just think this is an idea that was so, you got to be brave to try to make a movie like this because not a lot of people are going to get it. People are going to tune out. This is not I don't think this is a very fast-paced movie. Like, you really got to be with it, and it's not really, I don't know how to explain the pacing in the movie.
And it's extremely dialogue-driven. Like, you're just sitting on the couch listening to words, pretty much, But at the end, it is pretty fucking action-packed. Like, he gets in a car crash, and, they're snorting the drugs and stuff, and, like, it kind of turns into an action movie at the end. And that's, going to bring me to my other point. You got great cameo from Brian Cox from Man.
Right, as the professor, right? Yeah.
And he's the professor. He's giving the script writing class. And I love when he just goes, and never use voiceover. It's the laziest fucking shit you can ever do in a movie. And the whole movie you've watched so far has been pretty much like voiceover, right? It's self-aware of itself. It's so up its own ass. And like, that's what I love about it the most, I think. Just how it's so art imitating art or life imitating life. Like, it's a wild-ass movie. I've never seen anything like it.
That's true. It's self-aware of its self-indulgence, and I think that's what's so clever about it. You're right. It is a little it is. You're thinking about the whole Charlie Kaufman, he wrote being John Malkovich, and thus it's almost like a pseudo in-world sequel, right? Because we see Nick Cage playing Charlie Kaufman on the set, and he's, oh, hey John, hey Catherine, and they're just ignoring it. You're just a writer. You're nothing.
And then Catherine Kinnear's in his kitchen, like hanging out with his brother and shit. And he's like, Catherine Kinnear's there? What the fuck? Like, so
yeah, he did such a good job in this role. He honestly, was he up for Academy Award? Because I don't think he
was up for Best Actor, but he was actually, no, he wasn't nominated.
I was going to say, I don't think he was.
I watched an interview with him, and he said that adaptation was the hardest thing he'd ever done. It's the hardest role he's ever had. He had to put on a fat suit. He had to put on the wig. He had to do like the whole prosthetics and look like Charlie and Donald Kaufman. And when he got snubbed there, he's like, that kind of hurt. I'd never worked on a film harder than adaptation. Like, he really gave it his fucking all. And they were just like, nah.
That's such a shame because I really do think he was good here. I do. And I'm devil's advocate for sure. Like, I will give credit where I think it's due, and I do think it's due here. I think obviously the ending, it does end rather crazy. Like, I guess we could go over that finale because it's
sure. Let's do it, buddy.
Wild. Go for it, Mearnz. Go for it.
Well, just before we get to the ending, back to him meeting up with Brian Cox. Remember, they get a drink after at the bar, and he goes, when you're writing a movie, wow them in the end. Wow them in the end, and they'll love you, And there you go. We get to the ending of the movie, and it's pretty awesome. Him and Donald, they go find out that Meryl Streep and Chris Cooper are basically using this orchid to get high off. They figure out that they can ground it into a powder, and they're sniffing it like cocaine and tripping out. And like Meryl Streep's just like batshit crazy by the ending. And Chris Cooper gets fucking killed by a crocodile in the swamp.
Yeah.
And Donald gets shot in the shoulder, and they're driving away, high-speed chase. Truck pulls out, and Buddy fucking smashes through the front windshield and dies. And that's kind of a sad scene, where he runs up to him and he's shaking him, and he's like, imagine me and you, I do. I think about, and he gives him one last smile, like before he dies, because like that's the song he wanted to use in his movie. But there's another great monologue near the end, and he's like, it just shows the difference between both brothers. But he's like, I remember in high school you went and talked to that girl, and you were flirting with her, and she was really nice to you, but then she walked away and she was making fun of you behind your back, and you didn't care. And his brother responds to him, he's like, I knew she was making fun of me, but it didn't matter, because you are what you love, not what loves you back. And that line is a beautiful line, you know what I mean? He's like, that was my love, what I felt was mine, and I don't care what other people think. And that resonates with me too, because I love what I love, and like I don't care what other people think, because it's special, and like that belongs to me. No one can take that away from me, you know what I mean? So I think it's a beautiful ending, man. And then the flowers grow, right? And he finishes his script. He finishes it all up. He's like, fade out. And it all wraps up and happy together, like that by the Turtles. That's the last song in the movie, right? That his brother wanted him to put it in. So it's a really great movie. If you haven't seen Adaptation, I mean, this isn't a movie that you fucking watch while you're drinking beers and shit, but it's a very well written, heartfelt film that's like very artistic, extremely artistic.
Yeah, dude, that was beautiful, I gotta say. And like, granted, I would say this is my weakest of the four, but man, if I ever watch this again, I want to watch this with you. And I feel like everything you just said will make that movie work better for me. And
you know what, it's a movie that, I mean, you watched it, you probably hadn't seen it for a couple of years. I watch it a couple times a year. I mean, maybe twice a year. And every time I watch it, I like it more. It secures the fact that like I really fucking love this movie, and I love the poster. It's so cool. Nicolas Cage's head in the plant there.
Yeah,
like this was a big movie when it came out in 2002. Like we used to watch the Oscars like on TV, and I remember when this came out. I never watched it, but
it was up for Best Picture, and I know Cooper won. I think Spike was up. Spike was up for Best Director, and then Charlie Kaufman was also nominated, but he didn't win either. But yeah, no, it's in the year it came out. I did look earlier in the week to see what it was up against. It was definitely up against some tougher. Like I got why it didn't win Best Picture.
Do you recall any of the other movies that were up?
I mean, I can look it up right now.
I'm just curious.
I can look it up right now. Let's see. Best. Okay, so. That's 2003. So it's funny. He was nominated. So Nick Cage was nominated. I'm sorry. Nick Cage was nominated for this role. I thought he wasn't either for a minute, but he didn't win. So let's go to the 2003 Oscars technically, because this was when the movie actually was up. Okay, so the winner of Best Picture that year, shout out AJ, was Chicago. Gangs of New York, The Hours. Oh, wait a minute. I'm on the wrong fucking year. Sorry, that was the next year.
Remember The Hours with Nicole Kidman's fucked up nose there?
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. I was on the wrong fucking year. My bad. A Beautiful Mind won Best Picture that year.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, Gosford Park. Yeah, these are some good movies. Yeah, okay, I could see why then, because those are some good ones. But like, I don't know, it's nice that the Academy and I guess film festivals. This was accepted by Cannes. It seemed like they came around from being John Malkovich. It's pretty solid. I like this movie a lot. I would say like 3 out of 5 for me. If we're going out of 5, but I'm guessing you're giving it the perfect.
I think it's a perfect movie, man. I think from start to finish, it's a fucking, and this is in my own humble opinion, but I think it's a flawless flick, man. I'd never seen a movie like that before, where a guy's writing a movie and we're fucking watching the movie, like up until the very end, like the credits. Like it's a really cool flick. I would give it 5 orchids out of 5 orchids.
I would give it 3 of Chris Cooper's dead family members out of 5. Phantom Analogs. Jeff is in the house. Mearnsy is actually reading his wedding vows.
Yeah.
When you're reading the monologue.
Christy said the same thing too. I was like, "You want to hear this beautiful monologue?" And she was like, "Not really." And I was like, "Well, I'm gonna say it anyway." And she's like, "Are those my wedding vows?" And I was like, "No, no, it's from adaptation." She's like,
You were
"Oh."
telling me she hated this movie too, right? You tried
She
showing this.
hated it. She hated it. I'm like, "You gotta watch it. Like, listen to what he's saying. It's so good. Like, doesn't that resonate?" And she's like, "No, this is fucking boring." I'm like, "God damn it."
I know Wes from over at Dead Pit, he says this is the all-time worst movie that was nominated for Best Picture.
Really?
Yeah, no, he hates this fucking movie. I know for a fact, but I don't know. It's definitely, I think it's solid. I could see the point of people saying it's a little too, because it is. It is a little self-indulgent, but you're right. It is self-aware about it, so you can kind of take it
I
more
think that's
lenient.
the point, right?
Yes, that's the point of it. So it's a sneak peek for the 19th. Yes,
Yeah,
Jay Mearnzy will walk that out. Flower porn only on the
it
Grand
is.
Gallery.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Jeff saying hello to all. In the poster adaptation, you have Nick Cage's face on the broken pot plant. That's right, Mearns showed that. Yeah, no, I'm really not a big Cage fan. I feel terrible. My JP Mearns, so many people I know are like the most diehard. Like, let's do a Cage match or Cage double feature. My friends, they have an app where you spin the wheel and you hit the wheel and it's all Nick Cage's movies and you watch Nick Cage movie for the night. Like, that's how popular an actor he is. I just never. I don't hate him. I didn't have the heart to tell Mearns for a long time. I felt bad when I finally
Okay,
did.
buddy. Like, different strokes for different folks. But that's where I end this stream. So have a good night, everybody. But
No,
I have like
Frankie,
a rack on my movie shelf, like just dedicated to Cage flicks. Like, I don't own all his movies, but I own a fucking shit ton of Cage flicks. Like,
yeah, no, you're his biggest fan that I've ever known. Like, totally, you
I
bleed.
love him. He's great. He's great, man. I grew up watching them.
Yeah, no, he's tremendous, and I would agree that Leaving Las Vegas is his best movie. I like that. Wild at Heart is a lot of fun. Face Off is a lot of fun. Like, he's done some good movies for
Oh
sure.
yeah, The Rock, Con Air.
Con Air, yes. Have not seen adaptation, but I will after tonight. All right, you've sold Mateo on it wholeheartedly, man.
Yeah, if you check it out, Mateo, DM me on Instagram, man. I would love to hear people's thoughts on the movie because I never see anyone talk about that one. Maybe a lot of people fucking hate it. That's why.
There like I saw a lot of. I was curious because I read a lot of reviews where people were like, "This is fucking terrible." I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go that far. It has a lot of good merit to it. He says Grande looks like Dennis the Menace with the wig, just missing the slingshot. Hey, Mr. Wilson. I don't know. This is weird. The whole having the wig on the whole time is weird, but I don't know. It's fun for a change. Adaptation is great. Probably my second favorite of his behind Her. Her would be my favorite as well when we get there, but adaptation is really solid as well. Leaving Las Vegas makes me want to drink. Yeah, that's him and Elizabeth Shue are so good in that fucking movie, man. That's a Best Picture win. I think it did win Best Picture too. That's a
Best actor. Yeah.
Yeah, and he deserved it. That was a really, really, really good movie. Which brings us to our next film, a movie that, man, there's so much to talk about when it comes to this particular movie. And when I first saw it, was too young to really appreciate it. I had grown up with the book when I was 4 or 5 years old. I remember reading the book and loving it. My mom used to read me the book before bed, and I was obsessed with it. And when the movie was coming out, I was one of the first people in line to want to go see it. And unfortunately, at that time, I just didn't appreciate it for what it was. But as an adult, I appreciate it far more now than I did then. Of course, I'm talking about his movie from the year 2009. I'm talking about this little gem right here. Where the Wild Things Are. Yes, Where the Wild Things Are. Brief plot synopsis. Yearning for escape and adventure, a young boy runs away from home and sails to the island filled with creatures that take him as their king. Yes, Where the Wild Things Are. This movie has really, really, really grown on me since we watched it for show prep this week. And I think that it's just such a underrated and inspiring coming of age movie. But what are your thoughts on this one? Because I think you had a similar first viewing experience to me.
Yeah, so I didn't watch it in 2009 when it came out. I think maybe I watched it in like 2015. I was living by myself. I had a little box. I was renting a room in a boarding house, and I had a little TV box, and it was on one of the movie network stations. And I remember watching it because I love Sopranos. I love James Gandolfini, and he was the voice of Carol, one of the monsters. And you know what? I didn't really like it. I thought the boy was kind of annoying, and it was just kind of background noise. But I rewatched it yesterday, and buddy, my opinion changed. Like I actually really like the movie. I think it's a beautiful film. I think it's very well shot. I love the creatures. I love the monsters. They were all made in Jim Henson's creature shop,
Right.
Which is really cool. And yeah, I think maybe I didn't like it because it starts off so chaotic. It's like this crazy kid. He's like yelling and fucking, he stands up on a kitchen table and tells his mom, "Woman, feed me."
I want frozen corn.
If I ever stood up on my kitchen table and told my mom, "Woman, feed me," I'd be wearing my fucking teeth around my neck as a necklace, because my dad would have kicked my ass if I ever talked to my mom that way. But yeah, it's a good movie. Like my rewatch yesterday, I changed my mind about it. I'm a fan. I own his 3 movies on Blu-ray, and I think I'm gonna have to pick that up. But yeah, take her away, bud. What do you like about it?
No, I'm in the same ballpark with you. I didn't like it when I first saw it, but now upon a rewatch through adult eyes, I totally appreciate and understand, I think, a lot more what it was going for. And I think it's a fair point to kind of look back at even the pre-production stages of this and ask, why Spike? Like, we love Spike, there's no doubt. But you would think a studio like Warner Brothers would have gone after somebody like a Joe Johnston, somebody like a Spielberg, somebody like that could have brought a more marketable and, I guess, more attractive product to younger viewers, right? Because this is a children's book, and
like someone that's actually made family films before. Like his first 2 films are like heavy R, and here's a PG or a G, right?
Right, yeah. Like, what you watch adaptation of being John Malkovich, I would never think this would be the right fit for him if I hadn't seen the movie already. And also, if I'm a kid, it doesn't really seem like the right fit because it's not very marketable. It's not really a movie for children. It's much more of a movie for adults to kind of see this kid coming of age. Of course, it does tell the story of Max, who's the same character in the book, of course. And then we see him on the poster here with Carol, who's voiced by, like you said, the late, great James Gandolfini. And even through the eyes of a young kid when I first saw this, I had not seen The Sopranos yet. So watching it now, I got sad hearing Jimmy Gandolfini. I was like, man, R.I.P., what a friggin' legend. Like, I immediately, like, I loved that character and felt like sorrow for that character. Love how this is all done. It's this kid, all this havoc is going on. He runs away from home because he's feeling angry, he's feeling lonely. And I think that's the main theme of this movie is the horrors of loneliness that we feel when we're children, right? He's in the beginning trying to play around with his sister, but she has her own friends and things like that. He has no friends around, so he kind of causes havoc and chaos until he kind of finds this land of the wild things where these creatures, like you said, of the Jim Henson creature shop, animatronics, suits, and then they did CGI faces because, of course, Spike wanted to do it all in camera, but it was next to impossible. And they were like, we'll never be able to film this on time. Like, you'll go way over schedule, way over budget. Let's just do CG. And I think it worked. It's one of these rare cases where you use practical and CGI together. And it really, really works, right? Because you could tell he's something physically there to interact with, but they add these posts, to smile or frown or make the eyes open wide and shut. Like, I love that. I like mixing old school and new school to kind of present this modern day product. And I thought that stuff was really well done in the flick. I thought they mastered that. And I think that the beauty of the monsters, it's not just here's these monsters and they're going to have a conflict and there'll be a villain and there'll be like your paint by the numbers type of, something like Never Ending Story. We have to rescue the princess. I love Never Ending Story, but something more like linear. Whereas this, each one of the monsters are more representative of emotions that he feels. You have R.W., you have Carol, you have the one, Catherine, the mom from Home Alone. I can't think of her damn name. Catherine, Jesus Christ. O'Hara, Catherine O'Hara is her name. She's one of the voices. Like, there's a lot of good voice actors in this as we watch Max, and at first he's scared of these things, but all of a sudden they respect him because I'll eat you. I'll take care of all of you. And the movie kind of plays out. Also, man, the world they build in this, I thought was breathtaking because it's not just one world, it's everywhere. We're in the fucking desert at points, we're in the jungle at points, we're in the just what did you think of the world Spike Jonze was able to build here? Because I was fucking blown away.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, beautiful landscapes, settings, forests, deserts, caves. I love when Carol takes him into like his little special spot and like the water's running and he's got the little miniatures.
Oh, I love that too.
All the characters. It's almost like Carol is Max in monster form. Like they share the same emotions. They share the same soul, right? I love at the ending where Carol comes running down the mountain and they all howl like wolves just before Max goes back home, right? And so it was a blend of practical and digital effects, creating a unique and immersive visual experience. It was at Jim Henson's Creature Shop. They built the life-size animatronic puppets, like you said, but apparently the heads were like 50 pounds.
Right.
Like 50-pound heads on these actors. So like you said, they blended CGI to map and animate the creatures' faces onto the puppets in post-production. And I watched it yesterday. It was my rewatch in 2025. Fuck, this shit's aged beautifully, man. It looks great.
It does. And I like going back to what you were saying about Carol and Max and how they're sort of the same emotion. It seems like that's the main. I feel like Carol represents loneliness. Because when we're introduced to the monsters, he's watching them kind of from a peripheral, like watching behind a tree because he's scared. These are these giant fucking monsters, 50-pound heads. He's not looking to run into this right away with, open arms. Carol's destroying things, and they're like, stop it. Like, stop being an idiot. And Carol says something along the lines of, like, I wish I wasn't so alone. I wish I wasn't like this. And I think that's the main...
Can you cure loneliness? Remember he asked him that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was beautiful. And I thought Gandolfini, man, like that guy was such a great actor. And watching this again, it really made me appreciate the guy as an actor because, of course, we all remember him and love him and know him from The Sopranos. There's no doubt. He was a guy that, he struggled dealing with that fame, I think. And it was also the brief career he had after Sopranos ended, right? Because, of course, unfortunately, he passed away in 2013. It seemed like it was like, oh, there's Tony Soprano. Like he had that syndrome to him, like just like McLovin, like, oh, that's McLovin. Like you can never see the actor,
right?
But looking now, I mean, you do hear it. You could tell it's James Gandolfini. The character itself is just anything but a Tony Soprano. It's Jimmy Gandolfini and his sensitive side. And I think it's such an interesting coming of age movie because it's a coming of age movie where a child, instead of, dealing with other people, he's dealing with the monsters inside himself in this other world. And man, like you said, it's just gorgeous looking. I think it might be this, or maybe Her is visually his best movie. But man, the visuals in this I thought were just breathtaking. Like I could watch this all day. I don't know if this is out on a 4K, but this would be tailor made for like a nice 4K special edition. The movie, like, let's talk about this too. The movie was made on a budget of about $100 million. It grossed $100.1 million.
I got that written down too. So it just broke even, it was kind of a box office disaster.
It was. And like, that makes me beg the question to you. While we like this movie now, there's no denying that we didn't really care for it then, right? You would have been what, teens, late teens, and I would have been a kid.
2009, I would have been 18, 19 maybe.
Right. So, and I would have been like 10, 11. I would have been in that ballpark. And
I would have been 20.
Right. So yeah, around there. Like it didn't work for us then. And I don't think it worked for a lot of people. And it's showing in the numbers that it was not a big box office hit. The name tricked a lot of people and got people into the theater. The adult in me is happy they did this, but man, who knows if they had gone with another director, it probably would have been a financially better decision. Do you agree with that? Or are you just, I'm happy what we got.
I'm happy Spike Jonze made it, but probably, it's filmed kind of like a music video. There's a lot of segments where they're all running around and the creatures are like, hopping over each other, and it feels like you're watching like a music video on Much Music or something, right? I love the soundtrack in it too. Like, there's all these really kind of. You remember the movie Boyhood? I know you fucking hate Boyhood, but
I
like,
do remember the movie Boyhood. Yes.
same kind of soundtrack, like a lot of kind of like indie stuff.
Yeah, I know the writer was thrilled with this. He thought it was great. He really liked Spike. He took Spike under his wing. He was like, I really want this guy to do it. And like, also, I will say this, even though I was expecting something else as a child, he did kind of stick with the theme. Like, we look at this, this is one of the posters for it. I'm not sure if I go in either direction what other posters we'd get here, but I know this is the one that I remember. That was the theatrical poster I remember seeing.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, the cover of the book is similar. It's the Wild Thing. He looks sad. He's like kind of sitting like this and his legs are out, and you see the boat coming to shore to make him happy. This is not what you would think for a theatrical poster of a children's movie. It literally looks like, hey, buddy, like, sorry your girl dumped you or something. It looks like he's sad about something. Like, but that was done intentionally because that was the main theme of the book. I thought, wow, like what balls this took to take $100 million of a Warner Brothers studio and make an art film of exactly what you and the writer wanted. I really respect this movie. You don't see a lot of big budget $100 million movies that go for something like this. And that's why I really, really respect it. I just am kind of sad that it didn't pay off financially in the long run. It's one of those movies that maybe it's garnered a bit of a cult following, but again, it seems mixed. Like, you look at reviews, it's his lowest rated movie on IMDb. It's his lowest rated movie from critics. Like, it's definitely not, I don't think it's come around as of yet, or maybe if ever. I don't know. But
I was on Rotten Tomatoes today, and it's got like a 57, like rotten,
Yeah.
But, obviously he likes working with who he likes working with because, you got Catherine Kinnear. She's the mom. I completely fucking forgot that Mark Ruffalo's in it. He's got like a 2-second scene. He's the voice.
I would Run Away from Home. My mom was with Mark Ruffalo too.
And I always love this. So I'm watching 6 Feet Under right now, HBO series 6 Feet Under. Christy and I are watching it. And there's the daughter, Claire, who's played by Lauren Ambrose. And she's the voice of KW, like one of the monsters in the flick there. She's the voice.
Is she? Okay.
Of the redhead. He crawls down her mouth at one scene in the movie when he's hiding from Carol.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh shit! Like, I'm watching 6 Feet Under right now. Like, there, you know what I mean? So that was kind of cool. And Paul Dano, he's the voice of one of the monsters.
Right.
I think he's the goat that no one listens to.
Right. Forrest Whitaker too.
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker and Chris Cooper. Chris Cooper's the chicken.
Is he? I didn't know that. Holy shit. Yeah.
I love when he gets his arm ripped off and he goes, oh no, like that was my favorite arm. Like, it's so weird.
Isn't that funny?
But I have a question for you.
You go from winning an Oscar with this director, and then the next movie you're a fucking chicken. Like, so awesome.
And then, but I have a question for you about Where the Wild Things Are. Who was your favorite monster on the island? Carol?
I hate to be cliche and say Carol. That would be my answer.
You can.
I mean, KW was great too, though. KW, I think, was, I know it's never said, but I think she's sort of supposed to represent his sister and his sensitive side.
Yeah.
And she defends him when Carol goes after him. She's like, hop in here. Like, you don't want to be dealing with this stuff. And I liked her character a lot. Like, she seemed like the very optimistic and hopeful one. And like at the end, I thought this movie had a beautiful heart. It's such an abstract coming of age movie. There's really nothing else like this either. And like you said, I love that emotion where you see Carol going like he's crying, but he has to give him up because that's what's best for both of them. And like, he runs out and just sees him off to sea. It's like, it's bittersweet, but it's what's best for both of them. I thought that was beautiful. Yeah. I thought both of those, Carol and I'd say KW for me. But how about you?
I like the chicken, dude. I like Chris Cooper as that chicken. I would totally hang out with that chicken.
That's so funny, man. The Chicken Cooper, Chris Chicken Cooper, buddy. That is fucking, that's rad. What would you, I honestly would give this like a 4.5. I really like this.
So I think I'd give it like 3.5 out of 5.
3.5. Okay. Yeah. Still the weakest link.
I think my only rife with it is that kid is kind of fucking annoying. Like you know the Babadook? Like you just want to fucking kill that kid.
Oh,
Like that's kind of what I get from this movie. Like I can't stand Max. I want to like feed him to the monsters.
They could have got a better kid for sure. There's no doubt.
They could have got like Jacob Tremblay or whatever, that kid that's like.
Would he have been alive in 2009, Jacob Tremblay?
Yeah, maybe not. He was probably a fetus, like, or something.
He was a fetus.
A twinkle in his dad's eye.
Yeah, I agree though. Jacob Tremblay or Ethan Tremblay, whatever the fuck his name is, would have been better than this. I agree with you. Yeah, the kid kind of irritating. I'm with you on that. Ryan Hanley says this is my favorite movie of his. Wow, that's a hot take, and I love that because I think this is a really good movie too. This is either number 2 or number 3 for me. It's right there with Malkovich, but I don't know. I'm leaning towards that. I like the ending of this a little bit better.
We'll do like a ranking at the end. You can just tell me like your quick 4 there.
Sure, we can do that for sure. Where the Wild Things Are is such a great classic book. In the book where his character acts out and is punished by his mother going to be without supper, and then in the Wild, the tables turn. Some of the classic children's were valuable lessons, like the classic story Sneetches by Dr. Seuss about prejudice and discrimination. Yeah, no, the children's books were unmatched. I believe this was written in like the late 50s, early 60s, something like that. The original book, and it's really, I still think, a timeless book. Fuck 4K. AJ Zetro, you got to get with the times, buddy. You got to get with the times. The movie confirms for me the influence of Gillian. Do you guys agree?
For sure.
What do you mean by that? I'm confused.
I guess just like by the obscurity of it, maybe some of the set pieces or the shots. I would get some Terry Gilliam vibes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I was like, trying to think. I'm like, I didn't realize Terry Gilliam for some reason, because he wrote Gillian, so I thought as Gilliam, my bad. Yeah, no, I can see that too. I think the world they build was very fantastical. Like, I think that's the best part of this movie. It's just really like breathtaking. You would think this is Spielberg or something like that, for me at least. But I mean, I think that was the smartest thing they did, was to go with somebody like Spike. And it's funny, in the interview the writer did, he's like, oh, I'm so happy to have this young up and coming man. And Spike Jonze was like in his early 40s. I'm like, yeah, I love this guy. Like, he's this young man in his 40s. So like, this is epic, dude. But Where the Wild Things Are, I really like it. It's grown on me a lot since I first seen it.
Very popular book, man. Like when I was a kid, my mom would take us all to the library, and like I still remember being in the library, like reading that book.
Yeah, same. I read it. I remember reading it in kindergarten, and we read it in preschool. And I was so infatuated by the book. I to this day think it's one of my favorite children's books ever. So I remember being excited when the movie came out and just being like, huh, like not what I expected. And I guess it's an age old tale. To, sometimes if you don't get what you expect, it doesn't necessarily mean it was bad. It's just not what you expected. You got to go in with, I guess, a different mindset for the next time. But that, of course, leads us to just a few years down the road after that. It was 4 years layoff, where we get our last movie we'll be discussing here tonight. And in my opinion, his absolute best. A movie that, I will be honest with you, I can't get through this movie without crying. I've watched it 3 or 4 times, and I've never made it through with the dry eyes.
It's made with a lot of heart, for sure.
It is. It's emotional. It's brilliant. It's Joaquin Phoenix in this little movie right here called Her. Yes, Her, from 2013. Brief plot synopsis. In the near future, a lonely writer develops an unlikely relationship with an operating system designed to meet his every need. Yes, Her, with Joaquin Phoenix. I'll be honest with you, Mearnz, and you might think of me as a less of person when you hear me say this, and it's the truth. When I first heard the idea of this movie, I laughed. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. There's a movie where fucking Joaquin, the word on the street, how I heard it was presented to me was, oh, that's the movie where Joaquin Phoenix fucks his iPhone. That's how I heard about it. And I went, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Have they lost their minds with pretension? And then I saw the film, and I was like, I regret being so ignorant and judging this book by its cover, because I shouldn't have. This is an absolute masterpiece to me from every stretch of the imagination and forefront. I just think this is a great flick. But what were your first encounters with this particular movie?
Well, just like you said, like you would never think a movie where a man falls in love with his operating system has so much to say about falling in love and being in a relationship and, you know, being a human, you know, like we all can I agree? Like, don't you fall in love with Scarlett Johansson's voice throughout the movie? Like
Without
her
a
and
question.
Samantha, some of the best voiceover work. Like it's just phenomenal.
Right. Yeah, no, she does a great job here, as does Joaquin Phoenix, and this is my favorite role from him. I don't care what I know he wasn't nominated. That was the case. He was not nominated for this, which I think is a travesty because he made me feel for a fucking operating system.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful movie. It's basically Joaquin Phoenix is this guy who works at this colorful office. It almost feels like Stanley Kubrick had his like set designer on this movie. Like all the colors are
Yeah.
very Kubricky. And I love,
Beyond the Black Rainbow, like you ever seen that movie?
of
It's all
course,
like
yeah,
red vibes and stuff. It's like a Black Mirror episode almost.
right, yeah. Really, her is like a Black Mirror episode. This is the primary color throughout the whole movie. This red. That's why I did this red
Yeah.
for the stream. I like you follow Joaquin Phoenix as you see his everyday life, and you see that he's in the midst of a divorce with Rooney Mara's character, who, funny enough, they are married in real life right now.
Yeah.
Like, have kids and all that. And her whole story is crazy. She almost quit acting because she was in the Elm Street remake and wanted to quit, and of course didn't, and would do a movie like this and meet her future husband. You see flashbacks. The editing in this movie is great of when they were together, and Joaquin Phoenix seeing this in his head, and just really you could see he is dealing with a horrible depression of grief, of sorrow, of losing someone, not to death, but to, just the relationship not working out after a period of time. They have a daughter together, and we watch as he is trying to deal with this and kind of gets this operating system, this OS operating system that's voiced by Scarlett Johansson, and he slowly but surely starts to have very strong, passionate feelings for this operating system. And I know some people say on paper that sounds crazy, but I think the whole point of this movie, I think the beauty of, what it says here, Spike Jonze love story, is that love isn't perfect. Love can be so many different things, right? And I know that people judge others and always have these things to say when they're standing on their little pedestals. Love ain't perfect, man. And I think that's the beauty of her. Love can come from any kind of direction that you don't see coming. And man, the heart, emotion, and just raw feeling of this movie that pulls at your heart, I mean, it's unmatched to next to any other than Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. For me, it's just one of the all-time great love story movies.
And I think it's the same way for her too. She falls in love with him as well. She's AI, and she wants to be a human. She's starting to feel all these feelings that are they her feelings, or was she programmed to be like this? It's a great movie. Relationships are about growing, right? And I think when you're with someone, you have this expectation that you grow together, but we all grow differently. We're constantly evolving, we're constantly becoming different versions of ourselves, and sometimes you outgrow one another. And in this movie, she obviously evolves past him. At the end, she disappears with all the other operating systems. Like it's a weird ending, eh?
Yeah, it is. I think too, you make a great point about the AI and falling for him, and the whole idea of how would that work? Well, it's, again, love ain't perfect. It shouldn't work. I think he captured the pain of going through a really hard emotional breakup well. Like, Joaquin Phoenix doesn't want to sign the papers because once he does, that means it's officially in writing, in stone, over. Thus, he pushes off these blood-sucking lawyers. I'm not signing these papers yet. I'm not signing them. And they're like, why? Why are you being so petty? And he's like, because that's the last tie. Like, we don't have to. They have these great, they'll play music over, and you'll be in the room with the divorce lawyers, and she won't even look at him. Like, the pain that he feels in this movie, I think they portray it so well. Just the horrible feelings that you have when someone does not want you anymore, when someone doesn't love you anymore. It is a horrible feeling, and they capture it quite well. There's the great scene where he goes on a blind date with Olivia Wilde.
I wrote that down, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
No, I love that scene because you know, he goes on this blind date with Olivia Wilde, and it goes great. You know, they're getting their drank on, they're flirting with one another, but it's like he's not ready for this, right? And they have that moment there where they're kissing, and it's like he could take her home. Like this could be a solid, you know, a solid night, but you know, he's weird, and it weirds her out, and she's just like, you know, you're a fucking creepy guy. And
Yeah.
you know, he's like, what? Like, like he didn't really know how to handle that situation. I love that scene. It's so human.
It is. It really is. It's like you would think, oh, how could a blind date with Olivia Wilde? That must be the luckiest guy in the world. It went well.
Right?
We're kissing outside this restaurant. How could this day get any better? And then
Yeah.
just plummets within seconds, like you're a really freaking creepy dude, man. And he's just like, what do you want from me? Like I just got over, being with the woman that I thought I was gonna spend the rest of my life with, and now I should just immediately, because you're so beautiful and this dinner we had went great, I should just jump into something else and emotionally open myself up. That's life. Like that's how
Yeah.
emotions and relationships work. And it's funny for a movie that again is about someone falling in love with their operating system. They capture human emotions better than hardly any other film I've ever seen discussing these particular themes.
Yeah.
I love there's some great scenes where he'll be walking and Scarlett Johansson is in his ear and she'll be directing him at the carnival. Now turn around. Now sneeze. Now say cheese out of it. Say Swiss cheese. Like she's teasing him and stuff like that. And it's like it's sick, it's weird, but that's their night out on the town as a couple in the carnival, right? The only
I
thing
love
they
that
didn't do.
scene too, Grande, where he's like, his eyes are closed, and she's like, "Now turn around and say, I'd like a slice of cheese, please." And he's like, "I'd like a slice of cheese, please." And this guy's like, "You want Coke with that?" And she's like, "I thought you might be hungry." And you know, he's eating this cheese pizza, and they're people watching and making up stories behind the people that they're watching. You know, and I do that. You know, I was at the airport a couple times this year already, and you know, you got nothing to do but just sit there. And I like just looking at fucking people and making up random stories about them, being like, "Oh yeah, that guy's, you know, he's divorced and he's, you know, going to see something." Like I don't know, right? But it's for a movie about a guy that falls in love with his cell phone. It has so much to say about being a living, breathing human being. Like, absolutely.
Completely. And like you see throughout the rest of the movie, I think a very underrated role in this, and this is before he was really famous, was Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt is his buddy from The Office, and you see that he's dating this woman who's a lawyer. She's, of course, I think she's Chinese descent. And like, there's a great scene where he's like, "Hey, we should all go out. We should go out and have a picnic." And he finally has to tell, he's like, "Listen, she's not real. Like, she's an operating system." And he goes, "Great. What time do you want to go?" So he
Yeah,
doesn't judge because it's like, yeah, like obviously, I'm dating a woman that's not another woman of my race or whatever. There's different things too. Like, whatever, whoever can treat you the best, whoever can show you the most love, that's all that matters, right? Doesn't matter if it's an operating system, if it's someone over here, someone over there. It's all about what they care about for you. And I
for
love that
sure.
scene. That was just such a nice, they're just talking about features. "Oh, what's your favorite?" I love her feet. And he talks about this lady's, and then, "What do you love about Samantha?" And he's like, "Well," he's like, "her mind, all this stuff that we discuss and things like that." And I love that they go out like a couple. They have the great scene where he's walking through the hallway and they see this family having dinner, and he goes, "Oh, that's great." And she goes, "Well, no, when we walked past them, I imagined that being us and I'm being the wife and these are our kids and things like that." Like, these are conversations you have when you're in a serious relationship. Like,
Yeah.
if that's why it hits you so hard, at least me, so hard in the feels, I'm like, these are conversations I fucking had, man. Like, that's what Spike Jonze nails, this aspect of it.
Nails it, man. It's such a beautifully well written movie. And it's funny too. It's got some fucking weird humor. Like he's in this like sex chat at the beginning and you know, he's having phone sex.
Yeah.
And you know, this chick's like, "Yeah, um, choke me with that dead cat." And he's
Yeah,
like,
that was weird. What the
he's like, "Yeah, choke me with the dead cat. Choke me with the dead cat." And he's like, "Okay, I got the cat around your neck and I'm choking you." It's so fucking out there and weird. But the voice of that girl on the phone, that's Kristen Wiig.
Is it really? Oh
Yeah.
shit! I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, back to Chris Pratt. I'm not the biggest Chris Pratt guy. I mean, I like Guardians of the Galaxy. I've seen all the Jurassic Parks, but I just find he plays the same fucking guy in every movie.
He does.
But he's really good in this. He's very good, and his character's name's Paul. There's a fun fact.
There you go.
And I mean, he's in the movie for 15 minutes, but I like his little mustache. And Joaquin Phoenix compliments him, and he's like, "I like your shirt." And he's like, "I bought it to look suave." And he's like, "Reminded me of a suave guy." And Joaquin Phoenix is like, "Well, now it reminds me of a suave guy." And I like their office banter. And I thought Chris Pratt was really good in this movie. Actually,
I agree. I thought he was great. He added a nice heart to the movie. He's the representation of the people that don't judge no matter what. Like, I don't care what your dating operator says. You're my friend. We're buddies. Like, that's all that matters. You're happy. You're in love. That's what's great. That's it. Like, he's just positivity. That guy. That's what I liked about him.
Do you remember where he's playing that video game? And it's almost like VR. Like it's
it's in the room with
out there video game. And there's that little alien that shows up and goes, "Fuck you, shitface." And he's like, "What'd you say to me?" And he's like, "Fuck you, shitface, fuckhead." And he's like, "Fuck you." And the guy's like, "Fuck you. Haha. Okay, follow me." And it's like, that's how he solved the puzzle, by like sticking up to this little alien guy. But Spike Jonze, he voices that alien.
Yes, that's a cool. And apparently they said in production, like behind the scenes production, when certain people would come up to him, like assistants or what have you, he would use that voice on them sometimes. He said he would stay in character and just talk to them like that, just to see their reaction.
He's doing like the Tinder thing, and it's Olivia Wilde's photo that shows up, and Scarlett Johansson's like, "Wow, you should go on a date with her. She's really beautiful." And the little alien's like, "Nah, she's fat."
Yeah, and you can hear the hint of the grandma voice, the fucking jackass grandma.
Yeah, Gloria.
I would say too, like the whole scene. My favorite scene in this movie is when he is like on vacation. He goes out to this cabin, and it's the middle of winter. All the trees are dead and stuff like this, and he's showing Sam the mountain and stuff like that, and they play this great song from Karen O that would go on to win Best Song at the Academy Awards that year.
Is that wild?
With the
Trying to give me 2 secs there, buddy. I'm about to run out of battery.
Yeah, you're good, Mearnz.
I'll be right back, guys. I'm in room 7.5, level 7.5.
It's awesome. I'll get some comments while you go. Let's see. I remember when back in long ago, when there used to have those audio storybooks with those chime signals that would tell the reader when it was time to turn the page, right? As I said before, Michael Jackson's Bad music video was an homage to West Side Story. Rhea Moreno played Natalie Wood's mother in West Side Story. Ghostface Brett is here. He's back from seeing Superman. I'm sure you loved it. It's the second time you saw it already. Slam is a Panda Express. So welcome, Brett. Hope all is well with you. As Mearnz is plugging back in here.
I'm back, yo.
You good? Your battery's back and fully charged?
I was at 6%. I was like, oh, I better go charge it.
My bad, Mearnz.
Okay.
We drain these batteries in the graveyard. But as I was saying, my favorite scene in this movie, like I said, was he's in this winter wilderness, and you hear them singing the song together by Karen O, Lying on the Moon, and he's playing the little ukulele, and it's like a montage of all the places he's taken her.
Yeah.
And I loved that personally. Like, I'm someone that obviously, I've dated, women and gone places with women. And like, when you have that, it's just the best feeling in the world, going to all these different sorts of places and the feelings you are at. But it also at the same time, I think counterintuitively is tackling going to these places alone when you're not in a relationship with someone. It's like it's like, yeah, this is us being together, but it's also I'm alone standing here smiling and waving my arms around, things like that. I thought that was that's a scene that gets me. That it makes me just bawl crying. That song is so beautiful too.
And it's the same as like, when you're in a relationship with someone, it's like, this is our song, this is our song together. And then you guys break up. and you fucking hate that song. Anytime you hear that song, you're like, oh God, I can't listen to this, because it reminds you of being with that person, and that was your song together, right? So like, I totally get that, man.
It's so true. And even the whole, like, the way he remembers things, like he remembers the good moments with Rooney Mara. And like, there's that really tragic scene where they have dinner or lunch together, and she's like, let's just make this quick. Like, I don't want to talk to you or find out how you've been and all this stuff. And he's just like, why? Like, why do you got to just fucking throw me away like that? That's so rotten. I thought that scene was really powerful as the two of them. Then when he tells her, I've been dating my operating system, she's like, what? Like, what the hell? What are you talking about? Like, she thinks he's just weird. She judges him immediately. And it kind of ends awkwardly. I loved that scene too. I thought that was so powerfully done.
And it ends like with him and Amy Adams kind of like sitting on the rooftop together, and it's like they're kind of going to end up together. Like, that's kind of what think it was hinting at a bit.
Yeah, right? Because she breaks up with her boyfriend at a point, and he knows that she's talking to an operating system too. And there's a great scene where he thinks he's lost her for a minute, and he starts running and panicking and falling and all these things, and he finally realizes that she was just doing some upgrade or something. And he says, let me ask you something. How many people are you talking to right now? And she says something like 6,000 and change.
Yeah.
And he goes, how many of them are in a relationship with you? And he says like 600 and change. And he's like, I thought you only loved me. I thought I was the only. And I think that's where he realizes I feel this. I never loved you like I've loved anybody else, but it's not real. I think that's the point where he realizes, like, yeah, I could sustain this and be happy, but if you're talking to 600 other fucking people, how real is this, And then I think very metaphoric. How many times in life do we talk to women that we think we're the only person in their lives? And no, that's not the case. There's another person, if not multiple, maybe not 600. I hope not. But I think that's what that was commentating on. There's always other people. It's rotten.
And you're so invested with them the whole movie. You're so invested with Theodore and Samantha, but everyone else in the movie is fucking, they're fucking their operating systems too. And you kind of find that out. You're like, oh, it becomes less impactful. You're like, oh, everyone's doing it,
And like, and that's the whole thing. Who's to say that this is so outlandish? Who's to say, in a world where, we watched Joaquin Phoenix several times, this movie, masturbate before going to bed, and he's sad. He's truly sad and alone when he's doing this. It's depressed. It's not a exciting session. It's sad and tragic. Who's to say that when we want or lust for companionship, no matter in what capacity, whether it be a person, whether it be an animal as a pet, or a computer that you somewhat fall in love with, everybody needs companionship in some way, shape, or form. It could be friendship, it could be relationship. Right? It's huge. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, like, you're nailing it right on the head. Like, connection. Like, we're all built to connect with people, right? Even, I love being alone. I love my alone time. I got the man cave and shit, but I couldn't be alone on an island by myself. Like, you as humans, I feel like we yearn to connect with something that understands us, right?
We do, completely. And I think that's what this movie is kind of saying. It's like, yeah, it may sound crazy, but he found solace in this. It helped him get through the hardest period of his life. And I don't think anyone is to say that it was crazy or outlandish, like I did when I first heard about it, going, there's so much more to it. You can't laugh or toy at someone's heart and their emotions. I think that's just such sacred stuff. And even though there were people that will, and I'm sure there are people that thought, that even after they saw the movie that it was stupid or whatever. I think this is just so powerful. My favorite, like I said, Joaquin Phoenix role, Spike Jonze's best movie. It's the only movie he wrote solely. This is entirely his screenplay because, of course, Charlie Kaufman wrote the first two and then helped uncredited. And, of course, it was based off the book Where the Wild Things Are was the third movie. This is the only one written and directed solely by Spike Jonze. And I like to think he took some sort of a page out of Kaufman's book of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, because that's the only other movie that can make me cry like this and discusses relationships like this. I think it's a perfect double feature if you want to just cry like a fiend. Like,
I'm so glad he won the Oscar as well. Like, did you watch his acceptance speech? Like, he goes,
I did for show prep, and I thought it was beautiful. But
it was really good. Just a cool dude, man. Like, I would totally have a beer with Spike Jonze.
Totally same. Like he seems like the common man. That's why I really like him. And I think his movies, it's so funny. His movies are, all of them are sort of deep and they have humor in them, but they're also serious and have a lot of important, serious things to say and themes to tackle. Whereas, this is also, like we said, a guy that directs all these music videos and is the crazy grandma and jackass. Like a very well-diverse guy and extremely likable. Like I could watch him in interviews all day. Just very, very likable.
And that song, the Moon Song, was also nominated for Best Original Song, and Spike Jonze composed it with
Karen O.
Composed it, with Karen Orzelik, and he wrote the lyrics with Karen Orzelik as well.
And it's beautiful. It does sound like a song people just made up on the fly. It doesn't have.
I got a surprise for you, Grande.
Oh, what do you got? Are you going to play it? Are we going to get a Mearnzy rock?
I'm going to play it, buddy.
Are you going to sing it?
I woke up this morning and I had it in my head because I was watching Her last night. So when I got home from work, I grabbed my guitar, and it's not that hard. It's like 3 chords. You guys can all make fun of me after, but I'm going to fucking rip it for you, buddy.
7.5 floor, Mearnzy rock concert, impromptu.
We're gonna do it.
Are you going to sing too, Mearnz?
We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Are you singing too?
Fuck yeah, let's do it, buddy.
Go for it, Mearnz. Do you want the spot? You want me to back out of so you get the whole screen?
Can you guys hear me?
We hear you good. I'm going to back out so you get the full show.
All right. I'm lying on the moon. My dear, I'll be there soon. It's a quiet and starry place. Times were swallowed up in space. We're here 1,000,000 miles away. There's things I wish I knew. There's no thing I'd keep from you. It's a dark and shiny place, but with you, my dear, I'm safe and we're 1,000,000 miles away. I'm safe and we're 1,000,000 miles away. There you go.
Happy birthday!
For you, Scarlett Johansson.
I thought you were going to say it was for Christy. It was for Scarlett Johansson the whole time. Oh,
it was
man.
For Scarlett the whole time, buddy.
Birds, I got to tell you something, man. That was beautiful.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Thank you.
That was beautiful. I didn't know you were going to do a Mearnzy rock concert. I would have promoted it. That was incredible. You seem to made all the graveyard clap for you. Bravo, Mearnzy.
Oh, good. I'm glad you guys liked it. Yeah, I was singing it a lot today. That's how it is. You watch a movie, the next day you got songs in your head. And I was like, you know what? How hard can that song be? I mean, I don't have a little mandolin or ukulele. Like
ukulele, yeah.
Fucking 3 chords, and it's a good song, man.
That was beautiful, man. You really, I tell you, I know I've told you a million times, you're going to hate me for saying this. You got to get your own channel. And man, I think you'd be the biggest thing on YouTube since sliced bread. I really do.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll see. I'm going to be a married man, so I got to have some projects to keep me busy. So
right. Married life.
I got to get that channel going.
Absolutely. I guess that begs the question, Mearnz, out of 5, where do you go? What's your rating?
Her is the same as Adaptation, man. I think Her's a beautiful 5 iOS operating systems out of 5, man. I am gonna steal that slipcover from you though one day because my Blu-ray is a little naked, man.
Buddy, I'll give you.
What do you give it? What do you give it out of 5? It's your favorite one, right?
5 out of 5. It's a perfect movie. There's not. I really my only flaw is it's hard for me to watch because it just hits. It really really hits. It's like just like Eternal Sunshine. That's a 5 out of 5 too. But I literally last time I tried to watch it, I turned it off. I couldn't get through. I was like, the 4K looks great, but I'm fucking crying. Like, no good. Turn it off.
Yeah, it's a tough movie to watch, man. We've all had heartbreak, and we've all had relationships, and this is a movie that just kind of shows you that it's okay. It's okay to it's okay to hurt. It's okay to feel pain and shit. Because we all do.
Yeah, we're only human, or at the end of the day, OSs. John loved it too. John thought your performance was fantastic. You're gonna think I'm crazy. I swear I thought of asking you to do that song, but I was like, he'll never go for it. But instead, that was a beautiful surprise.
Cool, man. Cool.
That was awesome.
I wanted to give myself a mustache, but I was like, I better not fuck with the facial hair a week before I get married.
Is that gonna be your wedding song? Is that gonna be?
No, we're walking down the aisle to this Greta Van Fleet song.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a song you're going to dance with Mama Mearnz?
And then we don't have like a DJ or anything. It's just going to be a ceremony and then like a dinner and like cocktail hour after. So it's not going to be like DJ after, but we'll probably party. Like we'll be up late, like.
I was going to say, DJ with you, I couldn't imagine how fucking crazy you'd be going.
I can't let Mearnzy come out, though.
No, Mearnzy.
Gotta keep it Mearnzy.
Mearnzy's comes out on the honeymoon. Mearnzy pops out and like, hey, Christy, look what you've just engaged. Oh, man, dude. This was so much fun. I love you as a friend, a person. You're just a good human. It's always good to shoot the breeze about emotional stuff, about funny stuff, about everything. I mean, it's always a pleasure to have you on.
Bro. Likewise, man. I love you, bro. Like, love coming on and chatting movies with you. And fucking right, man. And it's cool. We did David Lynch. Now this is Spike Jonze. Let's keep up the underrated directors.
I know you projected it and asked if you want to do Scorsese down the road. And I know Mateo and me, this is like the unofficial official director series of I have Mearnz come on, pick a director, Mateo come on, pick a director. So you pick a director, Malkovich. I would love to do that. Your top Scorsese films or something like that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'd be awesome, man. I'd love that.
Yeah, but Spike Jonze, do you want to do a quick ranking and we'll get out of here?
I was just gonna say, give me your quick ranking, maybe from bottom to top or something.
Okay, adaptation.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna go Malkovich, Wild Things, and Her. That would be my from.
Okay.
Bottom
Mine would be Where the Wild Things Are. Then it would be Being John Malkovich. Then it would be Her, and then my number one. Adaptation. Fucking love this movie.
Very nice. If you guys in the chat, of course, on the replay or now, I want to throw your rankings of course, the movies of Spike Jonze. Feel free. I know we didn't cover the one documentary, the Beastie Boys doc that he's done. I know that's technically another feature. I just didn't. I've never seen that, to be honest with you. So
I haven't watched it either. But you know what? I might. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Anything. Spike Jonze has not led me wrong yet, so I will definitely.
Had you seen that Christopher Walken music video before, the Fatboy Slim one?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like Spike Jonze wanted Christopher Walken to be in it and called him and was like, "Where would you be interested in like dancing?" And like, "I'll film you." And Christopher Walken was like, "Hell yeah," because he used to dance in like the chorus in like Broadway plays and stuff like that. He's part of like the chorus section. The guy's got moves, as you can see from that music video.
Christopher Walken's. Well, I'm Christopher Walken. I'm dancing on stage with country bears. Do you do a good Christopher Walken? I know you do the best.
It's like okay, but like I need a little water. I need some water, ladies and gentlemen. The Foo Fighters.
Give me a Michael Caine for the road.
Michael Caine for the road. You forgot to bloody Joseph.
You do the best Michael Caine, man. Awesome
Thanks,
show as
buddy.
always. Only, absolutely. John says, great episode, guys. Thank you so much. I like all his stuff. He goes, Wild Things, being John Malkovich, adaptation, Her. Okay, so
Cool.
almost the same exact, just adaptation, Her got flipped. So yeah, you can't go wrong with any of these 4 movies. I highly recommend them all. But everybody, thank you so much. Next week, it is the J Horror Special. I'm super excited to talk all things Japanese horror cinema, only on Grande's Graveyard. Of course, if you're catching the replay, comment down below. Let us know what you think of Spike Jonze and his filmography. And, of course, the legendary blushing groom to be, if you will, Paul Mearnz. Everybody, thank you so much, and have a safe, happy, healthy weekend. Only on the Graveyard. 2 Sweet Peas. Good night, everybody. Cheers.
See you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime.